Hello world, I'm back with my unicorn. As you can see, I've got the paint all over it. I have painted it, and these are the old hands. I've got new ones from the one of the builder's parts sets. I think I did an unboxing of these, but I forget if I posted or whether it was in a live stream that I did on Facebook. But I think these are really neat. I almost don't want to put the hand covers on. The hand covers are cool. Still need to paint them, but I think those are pretty neat. The shield came out pretty cool. I used jet exhaust in here. It's just a nice brownish dark metal color. That gold was back when I first made the Hainu that I took this from, and I used a gold Sharpie, so it works. But what I did here was I tried to putty up where the white and blue pieces zigzag across. And it was hard to see until I primed it and painted it. I could sand it all down and do it again, but I really don't feel like it. I could distress it and weather it and battle damage it, but I don't want to do that either. So I'm just gonna hang on to it. I'll hang on to this adapter anyway. Maybe use it for something else. The backpack connector for the Banshee's shield thing, the big this thing. This is broken off, so I had to reglue it, and that's annoying. I'll have to be careful once I assemble this, because I already plugged this in and broke it, so I had to take the backpack apart. Thankfully, the new Mecha Color line from Vallejo, these blue topped ones, they're supposedly more scratch resistant. I didn't want to test it on this model, but in removing the jetpack and just assembling this, it feels a lot tougher, which is neat. I think I went over the colors I used. I used Titan Dark Blue for the shoulders and the feet, and I don't know if it comes across well, but it's almost a greenish color. I mean, it's a dark blue, but it's greenish. Yellow ochre is obviously the yellow part. I think that is the perfect perfect yellow for the most common yellow Gundam parts. So here's the V-fin. I think that looks pretty awesome. I left the back black, so I think that'll be a neat look. So I still have to paint the beam launcher. I forget if they call this a mega beam launcher or a mega hyper. They always have silly, overdone names for them. You can kind of see I did some scribing. I didn't do anything crazy. This one up the side of the head, that's where the seam line is for the front and back of the head. But when I joined the seam, it goes straight up here. It had a low spot all along the seam line. I didn't. The front half wouldn't smush on far enough, I guess, or I guess there was enough tension in there that it was pushing it apart, and I didn't want to sit here holding it for an hour or so, and I don't have anything to clamp it with. So I just sanded it down enough to where it looked good enough, and then I put a panel line in there. I did a line down the back and a line down the side of this, I don't know what you would call it. Out of focus is what you could call it. Come on. So I think I just went along some existing lines, so I thought that was cool. Let's look at the mobile suit itself. So now you can see the panel lines that I've added a lot better. Around here, and I did along the edges of that to make it appear like it's separate pieces. These here, there, to simulate a panel line, and then here, or a panel line, cockpit. And then on the shoulders, I cut these areas out. I cut the sides closer here. I added these panel lines on top of the shoulder. So that was fun. I added these little lines here just for some interestingness. Did these lines there. I didn't want to go overboard. I didn't do any panel lines on the legs. I like how the feet came out. The white top and the black heel. They're dusty on the bottom. So, one thing I like that I did is you can see on some of these pieces, if it'll focus, like the leg came apart. But like on the inside of these knee pieces, I left them in the black primer. Same with back here. I didn't paint them all on all sides, and up in here. I just liked how that looked. My plan to putty and smooth over these leg pieces kind of failed because they didn't end up even enough. I should have gotten epoxy putty instead of the Tamiya white putty. But every kit is a chance to learn something new. I used 2 different metallic colors. So like on the front skirts here and the chest piece, that is light steel. And like the collar, the back beam saber holders, the inner frame of the arm, and the joint pieces. Here you can see it really well, the different metallic colors. These are, the darker ones are jet exhaust like I mentioned earlier. This is really good stuff. I really like this stone gray. It's got this nice minty blue color. I didn't do the the psycho frame parts of the thigh because it was just too many pieces to separate, and I could have done it easily, but you've got like 2 or 3 different pieces in here, and this piece on the side would have been difficult to get out. So my story behind this thing is that it was a later development in the UC project after the Banshee, Phoenix, Plan B, and of course the original Unicorn. My fun thoughts on this are that it's a mass production prototype. So they've found a way to like permanently enable the NTD system and expose the heightened abilities of the mobile suit without the need for a new type pilot, and it no longer glows, and it no longer fully transforms. This is the new kneecaps, and these aren't fully extended. I can extend them, but I like them closed. I really like the yellow on the chest piece. You can see the underside of those is still black, which I think is cool. I'm gonna go in and do some detail painting. I think I'm gonna paint these vents on the shoulder, the front, back, and the sides. I'm gonna paint those with that yellow. And then I'm gonna go in with some dark gray and do some detail spots, like I didn't separate these. I might not do that, but we'll see. I might paint the inside of the side skirt there. I know I'm gonna paint the vent there in a metallic and then a gray out here. But I really like how this came out. And it's just a few more weeks until the contest is done. Oh, I forgot. since this is kind of disappointing, I'm going to paint this up. I'm going to do it in the same colors, but I'm gonna paint these the metallic color. I might even do a combination of the light steel and gunmetal. Gonna try and find a darker polycap for these, but if not, I'll just paint over them. Oh yeah, these, I cut that little peg in there so that these will swing. I think I will glue them in this position. So on the master grade they close completely, or a lot farther than this, but they come extended like this. But I like them closed up more. So this I will either mount on the backpack or on the arm, because I think it'll look cool on the arm. I don't think I have enough time to do a custom modification on this. I might do the same black and painted variations like the other parts, but it'll be more visible on here. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And now I'm gonna go paint the head.